Hourglass Productions presents The Then and Now with Kent Kasper from Hollywood, California. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Hourglass Productions. Today, I have the man of multi-talents, and Kent Kasper is joining us today. So, Kent.
Hey, Heidi, there was a countdown. Is it New Year's Eve already? Happy New Year. There was a countdown there. Is there a ball going down?
We're getting close to it.
The countdown got me excited. I thought it was New Year's Eve.
This is the I shouldn't say prequel, but the pre-party before New Year's here.
Don't give me any big words. I don't have a thesaurus. I'm not that smart.
Okay, so Ken, you have done many things in your life. And one thing that you are known for most is being a comedian, doing stand-up comedy for 16 years. Can you tell us about it, please?
Well, first I want to say before that, I happen to be your coach.
Absolutely.
Okay? I want to tell your viewers, you're one of the nicest people to coach. We have such a ball when we do our scenes together. We laugh, we kid around. You're also a fantastic reader. If anybody's looking for someone to read for them, you're great. I mean, I don't even feel like I'm working when I work with you. We have such a great time. With all your voices and all your mannerisms, I laugh my butt off. It's just hysterical to coach you. So I just want to let your audience know that you're a great actress, and anyone that needs a reader, definitely use you. And
thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well, the stand-up comedy was kind of in my past. I did stand-up about 15 years. I ran around the clubs all over New York and the East Coast for many years. I did colleges. I did a lot of I live by a hospital, by the way. So every time I'm on any video call, 6,000 ambulances come by. Okay. So there it is again. Okay. Perfect. It was 15 years of bliss. When you have a microphone and you're making people laugh for a living and they're paying you, there's nothing else in the world more like it. I actually miss it, but it was a wonderful 12, 15 years. I always fantasized about learning how to be a stand-up. Took me about 15 years. And it was, I can't explain it. It's heaven on earth stand up. In the beginning, it's a little rough, I'll be honest with you, when you're ducking tomatoes and people are cursing at you. But after a couple of years, a microphone, laughter, money, and heaven on earth.
Since we're talking about stand up, you're a pretty tall guy, aren't you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'4". But I'm 67 years old, so I think I'm losing an eighth of an inch every year. So I think right now I'm 4'11". No, I think I'm shrinking. You're losing an eighth of an inch every year. So I probably am 6'3" to 6'4". But here's the weird thing. My whole life, I was a size 13 shoe, right? Kids used to say, act your shoe size, not your age, which is really annoying. Then about a couple of years ago, my shoe size went up to 15W, all right? I said, how the hell could my shoe size go up too? And you know what I realized?
What's that?
Canadian Viagra. Never again. Never again am I going to use Canadian Viagra. Okay? It bypasses, you know what? Goes right to the foot. No more Canadian Viagra. So, yeah. I've been told my whole life. By bar mitzvah, the rabbi was looking for my wife. I said, Rabbi, I'm 13 years old. The best I've done was play spin the bottle. I'm not getting married. Okay? When I was in supermarkets, they would say, sir, can you reach this? To this day, when I go to supermarkets, I swear to you, people go, they think I work there. Sir, can you reach that? Can you reach that? It's so cute. I'm like the reacher in supermarkets.
That's hilarious.
But I love being tall. Height is I'll tell you a quick story about height. I was in Japan on a comedy USO tour, and I'm with a guy in a bar. And there's a lot of girls there, and one girl comes over to my interpreter, and she starts talking Japanese. So I said, what is she saying? He goes, you're not going to believe this. I said, tell me. He goes, it's her bachelor party, and she's with 15 ladies. And they saw you bald and tall, and they want to come over and rub and kiss the top of your head. I said, why? He goes, well, in Japan, baldness and height is wealth and power. So I said to my friend, if I am dreaming, if you wake me up, I'm going to kill you. Okay? So I went on the middle of the dance floor, 15 ladies, lined up one by one and went, oh, da, 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 wah, da, 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 da. One girl goes in Japanese, spoke a little English. Oh my God, you're tall. You like skyscraper. You're so big, mister. You're so big. So I realized I probably should have moved to Japan.
Yeah. So do you think having a bald head was a blessing towards your career at any point?
Well, it's funny. Many, many years ago, baldness was associated with you're sick, you're not well, you're disabled. So guys would put toupees on, they'd put all sorts of stuff. Then about 10 years ago in the NBA, the black ball players started shaving their heads. Then all of a sudden, the white guys said, screw the toupee, screw that. Look at all. I mean, you had Yul Brynner in the 50s. You had Telly Savalas in the 60s. You had Bruce Willis when he was healthy and great. You have, ball is powerful. I had a couple of toupees years ago. I looked like a golf divot, okay? I looked like a chia pet. No matter what I did, people were looking at the top of my head. Guys pay 20 grand for all these things. They take hair from your pubic area and put it on your head. No offense. I don't want pubic area from there on the top of my head. I'm not going to know how to urinate. I'll wind up standing on my head. I don't know. It's very confusing. They've used my head on motion capture. They use my head on video games. I have the perfectly shaped head. I use aloe vera gel. I use coconut oil. I use nice and creams. Look at that head. You could fry an egg on there.
Right now, in the barbershops, it's a trend that's going on. I don't think it's a cool trend. It's not attractive at all, but they're gluing fake hair onto men's head and then shaving it and giving them shape ups and making it look like real hair.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. But you know what? There's certain guys, honestly, the shape of the head is pretty bad, and they really should use that, honestly. I mean, I get it. If you have a really badly shaped head, then it looks good. My brother was so cheap. He used to have the black spray on his head, right? And he once took a girl to a baseball game and it started to rain, and his head was running. Black shoe polish down his head. Okay? I love bald head. I love shaving it. I love conditioning it. I would never, if I book a job, they want to put a toupee on, I'm fine. But you know what? I mean, look at this beauty, huh?
Well, that beauty booked you being a Dr. Phil lookalike, didn't it?
Oh, that came out of the blue. 20 years ago, I got a call from my agent. Phil wasn't even known. They called me and said, do you want to stand in for this host guy? I went, I don't really like stand-in, but all right, I'll go. Long story short, I go there. He's there. Show hadn't even been on the air yet, like 6 months. His people said, God, do you want to stand in for him? And I said, no, not enough money, $100 a day. Then they contacted me again a few months later. I said, no, it's not enough money. Then I got smart and I went, let me contact a lookalike agent, not a stand-in agent. So I hired a lookalike agent who got me a great rate. And for 18 years, they'd plug me in. They'd use the back of my head, my hands. We were the same size. From a distance, they got me. It was the easiest job. I did a couple of corporate events. It was raining money for a couple of years. And I actually have it on my website, how to get lookalikes in the business, because it can be very, very lucrative if you know what you're doing. And that just fell from the sky. And it's funny about Phil. I worked 18 years on the show. Every time he saw me, he went, hi, I'm Phil. What the hell? I'm doubling you for 18 years, you whack job. What are you introducing yourself? He'd go, hi, I'm Phil. Where's your memory, pal? I've been doubling you for 18 years. It was absurd. It was absurd. He was always very cordial. Never mean, never super friendly. One time I doubled him at his house. He wasn't there, and his dog was following me around. And when he came home, his dog was ignoring him. So I said, Phil, sorry, I fooled your dog.
Have you ever wanted to dress up like him, and when he would come out and say, hi, I'm Phil, just mimic him back, hi, I'm Phil?
Well, you know what? I used to walk around Paramount when I had the mustache and all that stuff. People would go, Dr. Phil, Dr. Phil. And I used to go, I never can get his stupid accent. You know, the accent was kind of annoying Southern shit. I couldn't really do that accent. So I always like the silent film Dr. Phil. I really couldn't do the accent. But as far as side hustle jobs, side hustle is defined by a job that brings you money, that's in the periphery of show business, that's fun. And that was one of the best side jobs that I ever did. And that came completely by accident. And I actually got 5 of my students signed with top lookalike agencies because they look like somebody. So if anybody looks like somebody, contact me. But the person has to be in demand. If you look like somebody that no one gives a damn about, makes no difference. Okay? So, yeah.
That's good to know. That's great advice. So other than being a comedian for stand-up comedy for 16 years, you have that New York accent. You were also...
Wait a minute. What friggin' accent? I don't hear no accent. I sound like I'm from London.
You got that hardcore, that strong New York accent. And
here's a New York accent for you, okay? Hey, go fuck yourself. Yeah, give me a cup of coffee. Go fuck yourself. Here's your New York guy.
Straight New Yorker right there.
Hey, when I first came out here, I missed it. I used to go, somebody cursed me out. I used to walk around myself going, go fuck yourself. Oh, that's me. All right.
So you used to be a DA, is that correct?
Yeah, I was an assistant DA in New York, which is pretty amazing because I had pretty mediocre grades in college. I was a lousy standardized test taker. I got into a couple of law schools. I almost went to Howard Law School because it sounded like Harvard. Okay, I figured I go to Howard or Harvard? Yeah, Howard. I wound up going to Thurgood Marshall School of Law, 98% black, 1% Hispanic, and 1 Jew, me.
1 Jew, and that's where you got a minority scholarship.
I got a minority scholarship at an all-black law school, and I almost failed out a bunch of times. I was going through a lousy marriage. My wife was a Buddhist. She used to chant every night like this. Num, 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 num. I used to think there was a mosquito in the house. I'd go, kill it, kill it. Num, 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 kill it. But she'd be chanting, and I would think there was an auction going on. Num, 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 50, 75, num, 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 num. Finally, we got divorced. I almost failed out of law school. Interviewed at a lot of DA offices. I interviewed at the Harris County DA's office when I was an intern. I thought I'd get a job there. They said no. I interviewed at the Dallas DA's office. They kicked me out of the office because I made fun of the guy's name. His name was, DA was Jerry Lewis. I couldn't resist. I got a job in the Bronx DA, the only office in the world where the jury's more dangerous than the defendant. My first case, the defendant got 40 years. My first case, the jury got 40 years. The defendant got nothing.
So you went to a black law school, got a minority scholarship for being you were the minority there.
Yes,
though.
You got a minority scholarship.
Jewish.
And, I didn't do that purposely. I just realized when I went to financial aid, holy crap, I'm a minority here.
So did you bring comedy to when you were being a DA, a district attorney?
Well, I didn't really bring it to law school. I was actually a security guard in law school. I got fired from 26 different posts.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, how did you get fired from 26?
One post I got fired for sleeping. Another post I got fired for eating. Another post I got fired for bringing my dog. Another post I got fired for, you name it. They just kept moving me. I may have been the world's worst security guard, but they just kept moving me. And I forget once I got a call going, security guard Kasper, investigate the 3rd floor. We think there's a robbery. I go like this. Hey, pal, I got a ruler in my pocket and a flashlight, and I'm making $3 an hour. I'm not investigating crap. And I went home. So, yeah, I was a bad security guard. When I started working in the DA's office, I got a reputation as being very funny. I worked the Christmas party. I did a couple of roasts. The judges. My favorite judge who hated me was Judge Judy's husband. He was the judge there. What an SOB. He was so mean to me. But, yeah, I was the funny guy in the DA's office. It was kind of fun to be a district attorney and also be a comedian. Yeah, it was fun. So
did you ever entertain for them?
Yeah, I did the Christmas show. During the day, I was always making jokes. Yeah, I mean, that's part of who I was. When I did trials, I was funny. You know what I mean? I mean, being a lawyer is kind of like being an actor and a comedian. The only difference is the audience is smaller. You know what I mean?
So when you first started being a stand-up comedian, you used to work the streets of New York as a comedian.
When I first graduated college, you have to audition at the Comic Strip, Improv, Catch a Rising Star, and if they pass you, you have the privilege of sitting there until 4 o'clock in the morning and getting up in front of a couple of drunks. So you sit there the whole night watching all the audiences laugh, and then you waiting till 4 in the morning to get up and perform in front of a few drunks. And I hated it. It was very depressing. I couldn't learn how to be a comic in front of one drunk at 4 in the morning. So my buddy and I said, let's perform in the streets. We watched a couple of great street comedians. We said, let's try it. And we wound up performing in Central Park. We wound up performing in the Greenwich Village. We passed the hat around. We wound up performing the Upper West Side. We would do 6, 10, 15, 20 sets a night. Whereas if I was sitting in a club, I would get to do 10 seconds. So I developed in 2-3 summers what it would have taken me 10 years sitting in the back there. And I used to pass around the hat. People would give me money. It was amazing to be performing on the streets of New York City, seeing people laugh, 10, 15 deep, collect the money, next show, collect the money, next show. I had end of the night, I had $200 in nickels, dimes, and quarters. It was fun. It was really fun.
Did you have to carry them around like most New Yorkers do around Halloween? You put the quarters and stuff in socks?
Yeah, New York was nice then. It was kind of fun. It was, I actually was doing it right by the Dakota where John Lennon died. I was living up there at the time. Never forget when he passed away. 100,000 people walked up Columbus Avenue to Strawberry Fields. I never heard more silence of the 100,000 people walking the day after he died to Strawberry Fields. It was like a president died, because he used to walk around with no bodyguards. He'd walk around with Yoko. He was part of the Upper West Side. But yeah, I miss stand-up. Unfortunately now it's kind of a young man's game, but it was a glorious 12, 15 years. And given the opportunity again, I would love to get up there, but I don't have the stamina right now to run around on planes and hotels. And because I'm not a named comedian, meaning like a David Spade or Romano, I wouldn't make nearly the money. Those guys make a fortune with one show. When you're not on a show, unfortunately, the money is very low. And, I'm just too old to be hacking on planes, hotels, and stuff.
That's understandable. Now, have you been a New Yorker all your life?
Well, you can't take the New York out of you. I'm out here 32 years. It sounds like I just got off the bus. New York is like inside of you. You know what I mean? You can't really get rid of it. Even though I'm kind of ashamed of the city now. Homelessness, 500,000 people are leaving every month. The politics. It's really become a cesspool there. It's a really disgusting city now. What's happened with all the people they're letting in from across the border. It's shame what's happened to that city. I'm glad I'm out of there. It's not what it used to be.
You took a big leap. You moved from New York all the way to Los Angeles. But before we get into that, is there anything that you do miss about New York?
I miss the energy. I used to walk sometimes 5-10 miles a day. And you're walking one block, 5 minutes later, you're in Soho. 10 minutes later, you're in Greenwich Village. 15 minutes later, you're in Little Italy. 20 minutes later, you're in East Village. It's like it would change. And I used to love walking and having the scenery change and the energy. I do miss that. In LA, if you're walking, they either assume you're homeless or you're a hooker. Okay? You wait at a bus. If a woman waits at a bus stop, she's propositioned 2,000 times. I miss the walking and just the energy of the scenery and changing. I do miss that. I do miss that energy. You don't get that out here. Nobody really walks. Everything's very spread out. I do miss that kind of energy. And I do miss New York pizza. I miss New York bagels. And I miss New York Chinese food.
Well, hopefully if I get to New York before I get out to where you are, maybe I can try to bring you some New York bagels.
Yeah, and I miss the Papaya King hot dog papaya drink. I can't explain it. It goes down like heaven. The papaya drink and the hot dog. And the pizza, it's made with New York water. And the bagel, you bite into it. You squeeze it. You can't take that out of you.
So tell us a little bit about the leap of faith trip that you took to relocate yourself to become an actor.
It was tough. I was going through a bad marriage. It's my second marriage. She was an alcoholic, and she was kind of a mean-spirited alcoholic, and I was very unhappy. And I was running around doing comedy, and I said, you know what? I don't want to spend my whole life just doing stand-up. I want to get on a TV series. I want to do movies. I want to do stuff. And I said, I'm going out to L.A. And she said, well, I'm not going with you. And I said, well, I guess I'm going alone. So we got separated and divorced. 92, I said, I got to be nuts. I was making almost 6 figures or more as a comedian. I could have stayed there making 6 figures. But I said, I can't do this. And I was coming out to LA as, I wasn't coming out as Seinfeld. I wasn't coming out as David Spade or Romano. I was an unknown comic, even though I was well known on the circuit. So it was a big leap of faith. So I moved out here. My first year or two, I couldn't get arrested, nothing. So I had to go back on the road, which I hated. I didn't move out to LA to go back on the road, but I was running out of money after 2 years. But by my third year, I was actually able to earn my living as an actor. But by 2 years, I had to go back on the road. But
that happens a lot.
It was scary, but I knew it had to be the right move. I knew I had to make this leap of faith.
That happens a lot to people that take that leap of faith and go out there and think that they're going to become this big famous actor off the bat, and they don't understand how long it takes to actually, and the hard work and dedication it takes to put into acting.
Yeah, but what I didn't realize was I was moving out. I was like 34, and I wasn't a leading man, and I wasn't a character actor. I was really in limbo, which is not a great place to be as an actor. I wasn't a leading man. I wasn't a character guy. So most agents would go, no, thanks. You're not a leading man. You're not a character. So I was being told, no. And I had some terrible agents, horrible agents. And I was trying to earn a living. I did quiz shows. I did reality shows. I did everything to stay afloat.
That was my next question was tell us about some of the fun side jobs that you did.
Well, one game show I did, I did. You remember the one with Chuck Willery, with the dating game called what's that? Where you go on a date and you come back and you talk to Chuck about it.
Blind date,
whatever it was, and
I think.
Yeah, he was a well-known guy. So I asked him during the break. I said, "Any advice for me? I just moved out here. I mean, he was a very well-known host, right? But I later found out that he was a very, very big country western singer in small towns, and he moved out here to be the next Garth Brooks, whatever. But he couldn't get arrested, so he started getting hosting jobs, and he became famous. So I said, "Any advice, Mr. Willery?" And he was so nice. He said, "You know what, pal? You could spend your whole life trying to kick down the front door. If the back door opens, stick your foot in it and don't take it out, because you never know when another door is opening." He said, "I came out here, I wanted to be the next George Strait. Couldn't get arrested musically, but I kept getting these hosting jobs, and it's given me a life that I couldn't ever believe I would have financially." And he goes, "It wasn't the front door, but I kept my foot in the back door." And I never forget that, So I always say to myself, whatever door opens, that foot's going in. And I do that to my students. I say, pound away at the front door, but watch that side door, watch that back door, and get your foot in it. And long story short, I had a couple of, on my date, I thought it was the best date in the world, right? I was in love with this girl, but she comes on. Oh, Love Connection. It was Love Connection.
Love Connection. That's what it was.
They interviewed me, and I said, well, Chuck, I liked her. She was pretty. She was cute. We had a romantic date. We kissed a little bit. Then she comes on, right? And I'm thinking she's going to say the same thing. But the producers got to her. So Chuck goes, "So what do you think of Kent?" And then she goes, "I didn't realize he was so bald. He looked like a cue ball." I went, "You son of a bitch! Calling me a cue ball? We had the best time." And Chuck goes, "Did you have a nice time?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's a little cheap." I'm going, "Cheap? What are you talking about?" In other words, they got to her to get some conflict.
Yes.
So
just
it made me out to be like a cheap, bald bastard with this woman. Like, oh, God. But I did reality shows. I did the Gene Simmons reality show. That was fun. I did a Lifetime show, Prank My Mom, like a candid camera show. I always wanted to do candid camera. One of my sketches that I had was a woman was supposed to be meeting a black man from the internet, and I show up. And I show her some pictures, and I said, "Well, I'm half black." The lighting was off. And I'm like the worst date. I'm passing gas. I have a little urine on the front of my pants. I mean, I'm the worst date in the world. And she's like, then my ex-wife supposedly comes and she cracks a bottle on my head. It was hysterical. I love prank shows like that. It was hysterical. Prank My Mom. I did a few episodes. Gene Simmons. I did dating shows. I did 2 episodes to Tell the Truth. The only guy in the world that got no votes. One show, I was a world-renowned psychic. And I had to fake being a psychic. And I was horrible at it. So I got no votes. And then recently I did one where I was a world's most famous window cleaner for skyscrapers. And the guest said, You're 6'5", 300. You can't be cleaning windows. You're too big and fat. So I got no votes.
So a little bit back, you said about you got your ex-wife on the hidden camera show came on, and
No, it was a fake ex-wife. Fake ex-wife.
oh, fake ex-wife.
But I got hit with one of these fake bottles, like
the sugar bottles, correct?
With the sugar. Oh, nothing like getting hit with a fake bottle when it explodes. I love it.
So tell us about the experience of getting hit with one of them. Like,
well, I was a little nervous about it, but then I watched Bonanza my whole life, and every one of those shows they got hit in the head with a bottle. I went, damn, hit me in the bottle, and it makes like a big noise. It's kind of exciting, I'm in my mid-60s, and I'm reminiscing about getting hit with a sugar bottle. It tells you about my life.
So if you could work with anyone in the entertainment industry that you've not got a chance to work with, who would it be?
Oh, man, alive or dead?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, man. I have some heroes in this business, if it was the 30s and the 40s, Cary Grant, Clark Gable, Gary Cooper, John Wayne, the big shots, Spencer Tracy, Hepburn, all those, James Cagney, that'd be amazing. In the 60s, maybe, like a Yul Brynner, Terry Savalas, Now, I actually worked with Tom Hanks, not nearly his equal. When I first came out here, I booked an extra job on Apollo 13, and I got a lot of screen time, and he was super nice. I always said to myself, if I ever achieve any fame, that's the model I'm going to be. He shook hands with all the background. He introduced himself. Him and Ronnie Howard, class all the way. I always said, this is the model I'm going to be. I don't know. I think right now, got to be fun to work with someone like, God, there's so many actors out there that are just great. Bradley Cooper is doing amazing stuff. Christian Bales is doing amazing stuff. There's a lot of great actors out there.
I think if I had one of them would be Morgan Freeman.
Oh my God, yeah.
I would love to work with Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington.
Oh, Denzel, yeah, absolutely. They're brilliant. I would love, that'd be wonderful. That would be absolutely wonderful, But again, I always tell my students, my job is to show you how to become a working actor, not to become famous. If someone contacts me and says, make me famous, I said, don't pay me any money. I can't make you famous. I can certainly help you get further along the line to become a working actor, but I can't promise you fame or fortune, Or sometimes they say, have you coached any famous people? I go, well, if you're judging me like that, I'm probably not the right coach for you. I'm at a point in my career as a coach, I'm coaching 16 years, that I tell more people no, because I don't want the angst, the drama, the hardship. Like, you're like the perfect person to coach. When I contact you, usually stoned on heroin, you're usually drunk. You know what I mean? You haven't slept in a month. No,
living that average mom life.
I look forward to coaching you. I only want students that I look forward to coaching. If I know someone's going to be a drag or they're going to give me problems, I don't want their money. I don't need it. So I'm pretty particular who I coach. And people always confuse me with an acting teacher. I go, no, I don't teach you how to act. I teach you how to book. You want to sit in acting class? You want to sit in acting class for 14 hours, get up for 30 seconds, and applaud like a seal? I don't do that. I'm a one-on-one concierge coach, branding, marketing, and packaging. I'll teach you how to book. I'm not going to teach you how to act. Like you. When I first met you, you're a great actor. You don't need me to teach you how to act. You already know how to act. I'm sure Meryl Streep says she can become better. Everybody gets better. You don't need me to teach you how to act. When we work on auditions, we work on audition technique. Turning a cold read into a 5-star performance. That's not acting. When you book an acting job, you have rehearsal, you have a chemistry test, you have a table read. It could be months. When you have an audition, you're like a surgeon. You're getting called in. Someone's hand was cut off, and you got to put the fingers back on. Someone had a brain operation. There's no time. So I always tell my students, don't pay me to teach you how to act. Pay me to teach you how to book. And then they go, oh, okay.
So you mentioned earlier that you were Jewish. I heard you guys.
Is it that obvious?
I heard that you got kicked out of Hebrew school.
Well, nowadays, being Jewish, boy, things are pretty rough politically now on the campuses. Yeah, I got kicked out of. Hebrew school on a final exam of 1 to 100. Obviously, 100 is great, 80 is good, 90 is great, 75 is a C. I got a 16. So I was many levels below an F. Okay, and the principal called my parents up and said, "He's out." And they went, "Oh, God, we got to get him a tutor for his bar mitzvah." But I was thrilled. I couldn't stand being in class all day, right? 3 o'clock, and you're anxious to get out. And then 3:30, you go to Hebrew school till 6? That's insane for a little kid. 8 to 3 school, and then Hebrew school 3:30 to 5 or 6. It was torture. So I got kicked out. I wound up getting some disbarred rabbi to teach me phonetically my Haftorah, so I sound like an out-of-control cappuccino machine. This was me at my bar mitzvah. Middle of my bar mitzvah, somebody yells out, "Let me have a frappuccino, no cream." Then I threw in a lot, Adonois, Eloheinu. I didn't know how to read Hebrew.
Did you hack up any hairballs while doing that?
I think the first row wound up getting a lot of hacks, but I still have my bar mitzvah money. I think my $25 savings bond is probably $10,000 now.
We talked earlier about you being very tall. So tell me about your childhood and how it was.
Now, wait a minute. I shrunk since you asked me that question.
You did. You did. Like, what'd you say?
It was actually kind of tough being tall in the beginning because I used to say to my mother, God rest her soul, she passed away at 42 of cancer. I was 12. I used to come home and say, "Mom, kids are making fun of me. They're going Jolly Green Giant. How's the air up there?" And it really hurts. And she said, "Kent, every time they do that, that means they're jealous. That means they wish you were you. So from now on, whenever they make fun of you, I want you to go, wow, they really want to be me. They really." So she goes, "Stand up straight. Don't you slump. And anytime they do that to you, realize they want to be you." But I never forget something that stayed in my childhood. I was in the 6th grade. We had a substitute teacher. Now, you know when you have a substitute teacher, the kids are wild and crazy and mean. So the substitute teacher came in. The class was horrible, right? Next day, the regular teacher comes back, Mrs. Calzaretta, 6th grade. I'm like 11. She goes, "I'm embarrassed of you, class. The substitute teacher told me that you people were absolutely out of control. And Kent, you should have known better. You're taller than everybody else." What the hell does that mean? 60 years later, I have no idea what that means. Why should I have known better? I'm the same age as those brats. Because I was taller, I should have known better. And when I was a little kid, my mother would say everybody thought I was retarded because I was like 5'11" in a stroller.
I had once told my daughter, I have a daughter that's in the teen years, and I had once told her she was getting a little mouthy, and I don't know, I was busy and multitasking, and I once told her, "You shut your mouth when you're talking to me."
I like that.
So.
Oh, is that the girl? Is that the daughter I see with duct tape on her mouth while they're in class?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
And by the way, everybody, Heidi has like 16 dogs, 14 cats, and like a dinosaur in the house. Okay, every time I talk to her, I feel like I made the wrong number and I'm calling the Bronx Zoo. And she has the best singing dog. She has a singing dog that will sing your ear off.
Muggsy Malone. Yes.
Muggsy sings. Very, very nice.
He does. He sang some Whitney Houston, Happy Birthday.
We have the same type of cat. We both have blue Russian blues.
Yes, that was what
I just got today? Talk about being a Virgo, anal retentive. She has a toothbrush. She has toothpaste. Ready for this? I got her a tooth scraper to scrape off the bacteria. I got it today in the mail. I'm going to be scraping my Russian blues back molar. Shows you how good my social life is.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. It's like a weapon. I got that. I went, damn, this is like a weapon.
So in between your coaching career and scraping your cat's teeth.
Well, you haven't asked me about my coaching career. You haven't asked me how I got into it.
Well, we were going to get there.
Well, it's none of your business.
But what made you decide to become a coach?
Well, I did a lot of background work for commercials, and background work for commercials is really lucrative because it's union. There's a million penalties, and you can get upgraded. And a lot of times there's a Spanish market, a U.S. market. I mean, there were days back then that I'd make a few $1,000s a day as a background artist. There's one day I made, believe it or not, 12 grand one day because it was in like 12 markets, and it was like I got like $12,000 that day. It was crazy. But in order to pass time, I used to be a kind of an idiot. I would like give out information to people, tell them what I know, just to pass time because I'm a helper. I would massage girls' backs. I was an idiot. I was like a sucker. Then, like at the 15-year mark, I went, I gotta stop giving this away. I think maybe I could make this into a business. What I do on these sets, I'm giving it away for nothing, and these women are taking it because I'm an idiot. So I said, let me see if I could put together. I didn't have the word branding and marketing at that point, but I knew I didn't want to put acting teacher. I forgot what I called myself. And I put an ad on Craigslist, which I no longer have anymore. Craigslist was known for a lot of like weird sexual ads, but it had a lot of legitimate postings for ads. So I put up an ad, something coach, blah, blah, my rate was really low. And I got 3 firemen responded to me. And I was like, holy shit, firemen? They want to be actors? So I contacted my commercial agent at the time, Leon, one of the best commercial agents. I said, I just started coaching. These firemen contacted me. I don't want to take their money unless I can help them. He goes, are you kidding? Since 9/11, firemen are the new heroes. He goes, work with them and I'll rep them. I go, you'll rep them? They're not even actors. He goes, I don't care. Firemen are in demand. They have 10,000 skills, ladders, jumping, weapons, EMTs. He goes, give them the basics. I said, really? So I told these guys, I said, your lucky day. I spoke to my agent, and he wants you. And they went, want us? What do you mean? I go, you're a fireman. You've been a fireman 15 years, 18 years, 30 years. Long story short, worked with them about 2 months. Got all 3 of them signed with Coast to Coast. And between 3 of them, the first 2 years, they booked about 15 national spots as firemen. And that was the beginning of my coaching. And I couldn't believe I began with firemen. Then I started getting doctors, lawyers, nurses. I mean, wow. I've coached chiropractors, nurses, doctors, dentists. I've coached clergy. I've coached military. It's amazing that the people that I've coached, it blows me away.
So you've been coaching for 16 years and you've coached that many people.
Well, it's one-on-one coaching, but most people come to me with a life before they get to me. One guy's a dentist, one guy's a lawyer, one guy's a judge, one person's a nurse. Very few people are just coming to me as actors. So I always show them, you're a nurse? Well, we're going to take that to the bank. Nurses are in demand. Oh, you're a lawyer? Oh, we're going to use that. I take their skills and say, we're not leaving this at the door. We are going to be bringing this into your branding, marketing, and packaging. Okay? So I only started doing branding, marketing, packaging about 5 years ago with Andy from Exact Digital, that we both know is a brilliant photographer. He said,
he's amazing.
He said, you're more than a coach, you're a mentor. I went, wow, I like that word. I said, you sure? He goes, yeah, you're a mentor. I went, I like that. And he said, you do more than coach. You brand and package. I went, whoa, wow, I like that. Mentor, brand, and package. And that's when the whole thing came along. Branding, marketing, packaging, mentor. I even now do a little bit of a muse. I'm a little bit of a muse,
I mean, it all starts somewhere. Like I started just doing a little bit of modeling, and then I moved. When I met you, I jumped into acting, and then writing and producing.
Yeah, you're the jack of all trades. I always say, you got like 11 different things you're great at. You know what I mean? I always told you, you should coach. You should help people read. You're great. You're great. You could teach them. Your graphic artist stuff you do, the modeling stuff you do. You're like 20 things that you're great at. And
so
you're a great actress.
The cat's kind of out of the bag. I haven't told everybody completely yet, but I have a photo shoot coming up Wednesday, and I'm really excited for it.
Oh, is that the Weston one?
Yes, and the pictures will be dropping probably around Christmas or a little bit after. I
gotta tell you, with all the Western shows now, I'm an addict now with Yellowstone, and I did a I've been blitzing the casting for Western since the strike is over, and we went over the shots for you. Yeah, you got some great shots.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I'll be reaching out to you before I head out to my photo shoot too. Probably the night before.
It's funny you talk about Western. I'm a master of branding myself. Okay, I'll wake up middle of the night and say I need this look. And up until about 2-3 years ago, I ignored the Western stuff. I used to go, I'm not a cowboy. It's stupid. Then I started going, wait a minute, you idiot. Look at all these Western shows. You've been ignoring this. So I got a whole shoot. I branded all these looks. And I said, long story short, I had 4 auditions last year for Yellowstone. So it's only a matter of time till I head to Montana and get on one of those shows because casting guy loves me. And I'm going to Montana. I'm not sure what role it is, but I'm branded. But I took a long time to come to terms with this cowboy look. That's why I told you to get it done.
Absolutely. So let's speak that into existence. Let's see each other out in Montana.
Yeah. But I'll tell you that when I started to coach, fellow actors used to laugh at me. Oh, who the fuck's going to come to you? You're not Jeff Tambor. You're not Jason Alexander. Who's going to come to see you? Well, you know what? 16 years later, no one's paid those shitheads 1 penny for their advice. Okay? And I'm a very in-demand branding marketing client. If I would have listened to those people, I never would have done this. This started out as a survival job, and it turned out to be a huge part of my career. It gives me joy. I never thought I could find something better than laughter, making people laugh, and booking. And I have to tell you, when one of my students books, I get the same joy that I get when I book. Even more, because I knew I was part of it. It's like a father finding out your kid graduated. I get such joy out of finding out one of my actors even get an audition. Book.
And with you being a premier branding, marketing, packaging coach, you work with so many, not just young females, but you actually work with guys, children, and you have a license to work with them.
Yeah, well, I work with lots. Yeah, it's called a CPS permit. And you have to be fingerprinted, number one, and you have a background check by the Department of Justice and by the FBI. So it's pretty serious because you're working with kids. And even after that, parents have to be in the room during the session. They can't. Sometimes during a Zoom call, they walk out and I say, you have to be here. Yeah, and they go, but you have a CPS permit. I go, I know, but you still have to be in the presence of your child. They really protect it in California. Even I always tell people, your coach, if he doesn't have that, you shouldn't go to him. Even your photographer, Andy has one. It lets the people know that you're not some perv or some nutcase job out there, right? So even to this day, I've gotten jealous coaches over the years that try to, smear me. It's part of being successful. And I always come back and go, hey, if the Department of Justice approved me and the FBI approved me and my fingerprint approved me, I don't care what this douchebag says about me, okay? Because the much higher powers told everybody I'm okay.
That's right. And actions speak louder than words because you have a tremendous amount of
I got 500 testimonials that I didn't write. Everybody wrote it from the heart. So if anybody tries to smear me, I go, look at the testimonials. No matter who you are, there's somebody out there that's jealous of you. I don't care if you're Brad Pitt, DiCaprio, Angela Jolie. There's somebody out there that wants to smear you. So somebody once said, someone who wants to smear you, that means you're very successful. So now I don't even get upset. And I go, all right, good. I'm at that level now.
That's right.
By the way, does this interview come with a pizza? Did you order a pizza for me or something? Any hors d'oeuvres?
DoorDash should be coming by pretty soon.
Yeah. I live in a building, right, where I swear to God, every other second there's someone coming through the door. One guy got on the elevator with me. I swear to you, he had one bag. I go, can I ask you a question? He goes, DoorDash? I go, what is that? He goes, that's a one hamburger from McDonald's. I go, so you're delivering not even a soda or French fries? I go, how much is it? He shows me the bill. One hamburger was like $3.50. Delivery charge was $5.50. Tip was $2.50. Tax was like $17 for a cheeseburger.
Oh my word!
Nobody gets out of the house in LA. Everybody does DoorDash, Uber Eats.
Uber Eats is a big thing. Yes. So, do you think you'll find yourself on like any dating shows? Because you're a single guy.
Well, I'm not exactly the Golden Bachelor type. The guy has a full head of hair. He looks like, I've been asked to do dating shows, but unfortunately, the women that want to go out with me, they kind of look like Babe Ruth. Okay, it's not really. I mean, if I wanted to go out, I'm not putting down women my age, but if you're my age and you're a woman, this is what you look like in LA. Your eyes are done, your lips are done, your face is done, you're this. There's so much plastic surgery with a woman my age that I feel like I'm having a cup of coffee with a rubber band, okay? And if I go out with anyone younger, within 2 seconds they're calling me daddy. which is a code word for we're gonna pick your pocket and take every dollar you have, daddy. So I'm caught between dating women my age that have more plastic surgery than Wayne Newton, and girls younger that are calling me daddy. They want to pick my pocket.
So dating life at your age is pretty much when it's time to clean Smokey's teeth, give her a bath.
Well, it's funny. I see a therapist once a week, and he's really great. He's really great. Zoom therapy, it's great. And I said to him, the other day I took Smokey in a carriage, in the park, which, I like taking the cat out, and people look at me like I'm nuts, but I'm pushing a cat in a carriage. And there was this really pretty girl who stopped me and said, "Oh, is that a baby?" And she started talking to me, and she was gorgeous. I gave her my card. So I said to my therapist, "Do you think she's going to call me?" And he said to me, "Can I be honest?" He goes, "Do you think she's going to get on the phone after you left and go, 'Mom, I met the man of my dreams. He's 6'5" and he's shrinking. He's got a cat in a carriage. Okay? And he told me he cleans the cat's teeth and's got a oral dental pick. I think I found the man of my dreams.'" So I don't know. I don't think I'm walking around and people going, "The guy in the cat carriage. That's the man I've always dreamed of." But I don't care. My cat walks out. I never forget once I'm walking around the park alone, right? And a guy yells out to me, "Hey!" He goes, "You." I go, "What's up?" He goes, "Where's the cat?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're the guy with the cat carriage." I go, "Want to keep it down? Want to keep it down?" So, I don't know. Maybe the older I get, the more joy I get. I get a lot of joy going to Trader Joe's and getting the 1 pound chocolate bar that I lose 4 teeth eating. I get a lot of joy taking Smokey in a carriage in the park. Maybe this is part of getting older. You get joy from stuff that you used to laugh at. But
so is it safe to say that you're pretty much known around the park as the cat daddy?
Well, you're being kind. I think I'm known as I think half the people think I'm a homeless guy walking a dead cat in a carriage. I don't know. I enjoy telling people how I like to brush Smokey's teeth. I guess that doesn't make me Elvis Presley, but I like it. And, and when I meet a girl online that has a cat, I give her I'm like the cat therapist. You know what I mean? I actually give Smokey a massage, like a chiropractic massage.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, But actually, Smokey's looking at me like now, don't talk about me. But you have a beautiful cat too. Your cats and dogs are great.
Oliver, yes, he's quite the ham.
But I wouldn't have met you if I didn't coach. I mean, I think I forgot how you contacted me. What was the original way you contacted me?
I didn't contact you at all.
Oh, you had a nutcase friend that had some brain damage, right?
I met him. I had an audition for the movie that I actually booked a role.
Oh, congratulations! Wow.
Thank you. It's called The Real Harrisburg, The Real Harrisburg, the movie, and it's a down and gritty movie. It really tells what really goes on. It's not the lovely part of what most people see, but it tells more about the hardcore streets. It's a story, and it's going to be a 4-part movie where it talks about the different boroughs, but
you get some cool auditions. I must tell you about Heidi. So tell me the audition, but I don't know what she's wearing until we come on screen. And I always initially start laughing because you put such great wardrobe on. And I usually begin the session with, "Oh, shit."
I was a cop. I was a dentist. What else?
I love the one with the pizza, where you're eating the pizza.
Oh,
It's
the
like,
pizza rolls.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I always love when the camera comes on and you're already in character. I go, here we go. This is going to be fun.
I actually,
you, of course, I wouldn't have met you, and you finally, hopefully, you're going to come out to LA. And you've been planning that trip since what, 1949. You've been talking about coming to LA. You're going to
1944.
You're going to shoot with the best photographer on the planet. I'm going to take you out to Bob's Big Boy for a meal and the 5-layer fudge ice cream cake.
Oh wow! I'm so excited to come out.
Yeah,
I
Andy
really
and I will
am.
hang out with you. We got to get you here. So.
Yeah, so I'm planning that trip. It's just about fully set in stone here. So pretty much Andy's booked, the tickets booked. You know, so I'll be coming out soon. We're just kind of waiting for after the holidays and getting things settled. And I gotta wait and see how this one photo shoot is, and I'm waiting to hear back from the other audition.
Oh, it's going to be great. The Western shots are great, but remember, Andy's going to fill in the blanks. So the Western thing is like, it's going to be like 15%, and the other 85%, Andy's going to fill in, and you're going to have a killer.
I can't wait to work with him.
You have many different looks, and everybody listening, this woman has more accents than a schizophrenic. Okay. I mean, your accent's amazing, and when you read with me, I go, God damn, you're still in the scene. You want to just talk normal?
I try. Sometimes it just takes over.
It's good to see you healthy. I should tell you in the audience, out of 365 days, normally Heidi, 363 days is coughing. Okay, she usually get about 3-day window in a year where she's not coughing, and she's usually in the ER 270 days, and the other 140 days with her kid. So if she's not home, check the local ER. She's usually there.
That's true.
And the woman takes more penicillin than Michael Jackson. She's always on some.
Oh, they should name penicillin after me.
Yeah. Here's my impression of usually Heidi when the session begins. So Ken. So Ken, I like to go. Now it's a monologue where. No, I'm fine. I'm on medic.
I'm practicing for that ER role.
And this is after the medication.
Yeah.
Don't you edit this out. I know what you're thinking.
I won't. I'm gonna leave it.
I must tell you, I look pretty good for a guy 67 on the screen, huh? No Botox, no nothing?
You wouldn't know you were even 67 if you didn't say it.
Well, according to Match.com and Bumble, I'm 52.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
You tell a woman you're 67, she's ready to change your damn bedpan.
I think you're still pretty active for 67, out and about.
Problem is, in order to be active, you got to have a partner.
So you just had a couple great bookings.
Yeah, I did. I did a couple of things that were okay during the strike. I'm always looking at projects independent of the money. I go, is this a nice piece of tape? I always tell my students, when you book something or audition, here's the checklist. Is it a nice IMDb credit? If it is, great. Is it a nice resume credit? Good, great, take it. Is it a nice piece of demo tape? Take it. Is this going to end up at a film festival? Take it. Is this going to be fun? Take it. And then the money is at the end. So I got an audition for a really bad guy. This guy was like a pedophile, rapist, killer. And I read he'd get hit in the head with a bottle. I went, oh, I love this. And I have a lot of tape, but not a massive amount of tape with bad guys, right? So I love that. So it was a really bad guy. He was a predator, a rapist, and the role was so bad that I had to have a meeting with an intimacy director. I don't know if you know what that is. When there's any sort of simulated sex, you have to have an intimacy director so that both parties know that he's going to put his hand above your neck. He's going to push the shoulder. So everything is choreographed, so there's no surprises. So that was really interesting. Then I had to meet with a stunt man to show me about the bottle. I went, I'm in heaven. So it was, believe it or not, it was a Chinese mobisode. Mobisode is a variation of a webisode that people can watch on their phone. So I got there. Everybody's normal, and on the sheet it said like rapist, pedophile. No one was even talking to me. They were scared of me. Right?
Oh my.
So we did the scenes, and I mean there was no nudity or anything, but there was a lot of like I tackled her. I had to like pin her down. I had to choke her. I had to hit her. Then I had to get hit with the bottle. I'm waiting for the tape. Another couple of weeks. I made very little money, but the tape is so valuable to me that I can be submitted for like the bad guy, the really bad guy. And that to me, I'd pay them $10,000 for that piece of tape.
Because now you're not just the funny guy.
Well, I have a couple of bad scenes, but this was bad. And they had to hit me over the head with the bottle. I never forget, the director goes, "How many bottles do we have?" I go, "Oh, shit. How many times are they going to hit me?" Guy goes, "Let me check. We got 6 bottles." And I went, "Oh, fuck. I'm going to get smashed 6 times." So I got smashed 6 times. I had to get beaten up. I had to fake a punch, which was scary. I mean, these guys were young guys. They hit me. My teeth would have come out.
Mm.
But by the end of the night, I was exhausted in a good way. Then the next day, I had to do a music video for that. What's that called? You know about that, the Japanese video.
Oh, yeah, the K-pop.
I did K-pop.
Korean pop music.
I was some knucklehead at a laundromat who got the pizza kicked out of him. But I was so exhausted from being... So on Friday, I was the bad guy, pedophile, rapist. Saturday, I'm at a laundromat like a douchebag getting a pizza kicked out of my face. I go, all right, 2 good days as an actor, But I was so tired at the end of the first day. It was so exhausting physically and getting hit. I had like pieces of glass in my head from the bottles, But getting hit, it's loud, like, chow, whoa. I may go buy a couple of bottles myself, hit myself in the head tonight.
At least you can knock yourself out.
How many guys get excited about getting hit in the head with a smashed sugar bottle? But
I mean, I think it'd be exciting because I never did it before. I'm always down for like if it's a sugar bottle. So
yeah, but
I just want to do it to hear the sound.
It can hurt though. But I always tell my actors like myself, I go, don't turn your nose at a short film. A short film. I did some short films that were 2-3 films away from being nominated for an Oscar. I mean, don't turn your nose at a short film. I did a short film at the guy's garage. The guy was a brilliant young director. It was 3 films away from being nominated for an Oscar. We shot it in his garage. So short films and festival films, even college films. Used to be a thesis film was they would do it for a grade. Now they do it for a grade, and then they shop it to festivals afterwards. So I tell people, don't turn your nose at a USC film. Don't turn your nose at a AFI film. This thing could be sitting at a major film festival. So there's so much work out there. The amount of... I always tell people, this business is like a 30-slice pizza pie. 1 slice is music videos. 1 slice is mobisodes. 1 slice is web series. 1 slice is music. 1 slice is print. 1 slice is commercials. 1 slice is voiceover. There's so many slices to take from. Every time I get an audition, I go, what is it? Is it a mobisode? Is it a webisode? Is it this? Come on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
I love doing voiceovers. I think they're fun.
You're great at it. Well, it comes from the fact you spent 4 years doing phone sex. So it was very easy to make that transition. I wanted to do phone sex. The problem is I had an earache. I couldn't do it. No, she did not do phone sex, okay? No, you do amazing stuff. You can make your voice sound young, sound old. You do accents. Sometimes when I read with Heidi, in the middle of the reading, she switches accents on me. She goes from London to Swedish to British, but yeah.
So, tell me what it's like, or tell not just me, but let's tell our audience and our viewers.
It's only me and you. There's no audience.
Well, we have audience. Trust me. But let's tell our viewers and our audience a little bit about the difference between non-union and a SAG actor. For people that don't quite understand it, just give them a little breakdown. It don't have to be full in detail, but
no, I'll give you some breakdown. When I joined SAG and AFTRA, a combination of both, I think it ran me about $450. Now I believe to join in a major market, it's close to 4,000. So right off the bat, it's jumped God knows how much. Okay. It's actually an advantage to be non-union for commercials nowadays. 90% of commercials nowadays are non-union. Many, many years ago, 90% of commercials were union. I used to go on maybe 150 auditions a year for commercials when it was union. Since it went non-union, I maybe go on 10. So I lost 95% of my auditions because it went to non-union. So I always tell my actors who are non-union, relax. Right now you're at advantage. Stay non-union until you have to, okay? Obviously, the pay is better when you're union. You have more protection, you know. On a normal set, there's smoke pay, a lot more overtime, there's rain pay, a lot more protection. You can get upgraded. I get upgraded 19 times as a background artist, and I made my biggest upgrade was Lending Tree. It was a nice daily rate of like 400, which I was happy with. Next thing you know, the camera finds me. I go, damn, this could be good. But you don't know until the final edit comes out. It comes out. It ran for 4 years. I got upgraded. I made $420,000 over 6.5 years for an eighth of a second on camera.
Wow.
If I was non-union, I couldn't be upgraded. You get it?
Right.
But I got to tell you, during the strike, I went on a bunch of marches. It really reinforced to me that it's a really good union. It's a strong union. We had thousands of people march. We stuck together. We didn't cave in to those asshole producers that tried to screw us up and wear us down. And, oh, we're going to make them lose their homes. We're going to make them lose their life. We stood strong. It really reinforced that it's a really, I want to tell you how difficult it is to get in the union. There's 330 million people in the country. There's only 166,000 members of SAG. So you got 328 million and only 166,000 members of SAG. That's a pretty exclusive union.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I pay, I go, boy, I've been a member 36 years. I look at my card. And then as I look at my card, I go, I wonder if I can floss Smokey's teeth with the card. I may maybe be able to use the card. No, I love the union card. I mean, and we finally merged after 1,000 years, SAG after. So I recommend somebody to join when they have to, but don't think the moment you join your life's going to change. The only thing that's changed, you're going to have $4,000 less in your checking account. But other than that, life's not going to change for you the next day. Let it happen naturally, you know, and don't go to bed at night pissed off. You'll get into the union.
What is one thing that you've learned during the actors' strike?
I learned how strong our union is. I learned how we can go against the most powerful producers in the world. If we continued to strike, we would have stopped the Oscars. There'd be no Oscars. If we continued, there'd be no Emmys. If we continued, there'd be no 23-24 TV season. We had a massive amount of power. It made me realize how powerful we are as actors, and we weren't going to get stepped on because of AI. Producers want to eventually replace us with AI. They want to use our image when we're dead. They want to get James Dean and Elvis Presley's image and put him in movies now. They want to just basically say, screw you actors. We just want to use AI. And we stood strong and said, nope. Now, 3 years from now, when the contract is up, God knows what AI is going to be. So we have to stay on top of this. Because otherwise, they will replace us with green screen and AI. Because what they're doing now with AI is just at the beginning, and it could destroy actors. It can destroy us. So it's scary.
Mm. One thing, when we were talking about like some of the accents that I try to do and mimic, one of the reasons why I like doing that is because I'm going to rewind it back a little bit. We were talking about if we could work with an actor in the entertainment business, who would it be? And I love Robin Williams' voices. He was so amazing and one of the best at doing different vocal sounds. And my favorite one, I actually have one of my TikToks and it was the most stupidest TikTok. When I was doing TikToks, I used to put in so much time to do TikToks. And I put in this one TikTok, and it was, all I did was Robin Williams, I'm a hot dog, you know, and I got the most views off of that one stupid just repeat of Robin Williams, just because it was a famous line in Mrs. Doubtfire when he was getting interviewed.
Yeah, it's so sad about depression, and I mean, on one hand, you say brilliant, famous, rich, had kids, a wife, and he took a belt around his neck and wanted it over. I mean, he was also, I believe, suffering from a dementia and it was going to get worse. I mean, it's pretty horrible that somebody that gave the world such laughter was so miserable and just wanted it to end. You know, it's really sad.
It is sad, and it's very sad to say that, like, in the acting and entertainment business, like a lot of mental health, you really have to have a strong mental health.
Believe me, I mean, I was a comedian for over a dozen years. Most of the comedians I met off stage were absolute depressing, massive manic depressors. They hated their life. They were nothing like they were on stage. They were miserable. I made very few friends as a comedian because I didn't like the guys. You know, I was for the most part the same guy off stage, but a lot of comedians off stage, depressing, bummed out, suicidal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't be confused by the happy clown.
Yeah.
Happy clown could be the most miserable SOB when he gets off stage.
And they say some of the most people who've been through the most deepest and toughest shit ever, like that they're very sad and, you know, they're depressed and stuff, carry the biggest smile.
I don't think I would have became a comedian if my mother didn't die at 12 when I was 12. I think I needed laughter to fill that empty hole that came from being motherless. Mm-hmm. I think I needed something to fill that motherless hole, and I decided with me it would be laughter. You never fill it, but it's almost like the laughter became my mother. You know, the adulation from strangers replaced the love that my mother gave me.
Right.
Would I become a comedian if she was alive? I don't know. I'll never know. But I do know that I needed it to fill my soul and holes in me. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I still need it. You know, and now I maybe get it from coaching. Now I need to get it from acting. You know, when a parent dies that young, you know, you had a loss. There's a bullet hole in your soul, you know, and you do your best to fill it. But when you're 12, you got a lot of life to live, you know.
Tell me one thing, how COVID changed your life as an actor.
Well, everything's self-tape now. Before COVID, I would say I ran around for 30 years running around doing auditions, getting on the highway, putting gas in the car, parking, paying tolls. That was part of the gig. You got an audition, you went, all right, I got to get in the car, I got to get dressed. Sometimes you sat in the highway for an hour, you complained, but that's the only way you did it. Mm-hmm. Then COVID came, and that ended. All of a sudden, what I was used to for 30 years stopped. And before COVID, I'd say maybe 20% was self-tape. 2 out of 10 auditions were self-tape.
And you save so much money now.
Maybe 1 or 2. And then COVID hit, and live auditions were gone. They were just completely over. But auditions started coming back, but they were self-tape. And I went, well, self-tape? It's kind of weird. But then as the years progressed, self-tape, and virtually 75% of the live casting studios in Hollywood closed down because they realized they didn't need the middleman anymore. Casting person didn't have to rent a studio, didn't have to pay for the studio. Casting person sat at home in front of their computer and did it. So they eliminated the middleman. And to this day, years after COVID, 99% of auditions are self-tape, and maybe 97 are self-tape, and 3%, 2.5% are Zoom. 0.5% is live. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
I had a 6-hour Zoom audition for Disney last week or the week before. Yeah, it was 6 hour. I sat there.
I never heard of that.
I sat for 6 hours. 6 hours just sitting there watching, because they had a whole bunch of people on Zoom from all over the world.
If that was a union audition, they wouldn't allow it. You get it?
Well,
they would have had to pay you a heck of a lot of money for that. So 6 hours.
I was ready to hang up and just be like, F this.
If you would have told me 6 hours, I would have said to you, don't even do that, please. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I would tell you in a million years, never do that again.
Well, Disney I was too good for Disney. They like to,
They're cheap too. Disney's
yeah,
cheap.
and they like to train their own people. So
Yeah,
they
no,
don't want somebody who's already had training.
never do 6 hours. That's crazy. You give it a few
So,
minutes. I mean, there's no way. You never. That's why you didn't tell me about that, because I would have yelled at you.
oh yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. But that was one that I got at the last minute, and that I didn't even want to, like, I didn't have time to even tell you about that one because I was out looking for props for my photo shoot, and I got a call while I was in the store. And they're like, "Can you be on this Zoom meet for this audition?"
That's crazy.
And they didn't give me enough time to prepare. Like everybody else that they had a week to go over their lines, and I had less than 24 hours
Yeah, man.
to learn my lines.
I would have told you to tell them to take a hike and something like that.
It was ridiculous. Like I won't ever do one like that again.
No,
Like,
no. You have to keep this business could, if you let it, it can make you feel very powerless. You have to maintain your power, whether it be a meeting with an agent or a casting director. You can't give away your soul in the hopes of getting a job. You have to maintain your integrity. You have to maintain your sense of self. You got to just say, listen, there's only one me out there. Like when I first came out to LA, my auditions were horrible. I mean, they were so bad that some casting directors probably wrote on my resume, "Don't bring him back until the earth explodes." Okay? That's how bad they were. Then a fellow comedian, I was getting ready to leave after 2 years. I said, I got to come home. I'm terrible. He goes, "Kent, stop trying to outact these people. These are trained actors of 25, 30 years. You've been a trained comedian. You can't compete with them." I go, "What do I do?" He goes, "Nobody," these words changed my life. He goes, "These people are outacting you, but nobody can out-Kent you." I went, "What'd you just say, Paul?" He goes, "These people are outacting you, but nobody can out-Kent you. You come in and you take Kent in there ain't no competition." And that changed my life. From that moment on, I stopped trying to outact them. I said, I'm the best Kent there is. There may be better actors, but there ain't no better Kent. And I always tell my actors, there's only one you. There's no competition. There's only one you. Don't try to act. Bring you into this, and you'll make an impression. So
that is definitely great advice, and it definitely helped.
I was getting ready to come home. I used to cry after auditions. I was so bad. I said to my friend, "How can I be a professional comedian for 12 years? I've been on The Tonight Show, Letterman, Chevy Chase, Hollywood Squares, and how can I suck so badly in front of one guy in an office? How can I be so bad in front of one person? I've worked crowds of 5, 10, 15,000. How can I be that bad?" He goes, "You're trying to outact them. You're trying to outact them." He goes, "You're enough. You're 6'4". You're big. Walk in a room. You're enough." And that just changed it. And that's why I'm a great coach. Because when I started coaching, I said to myself, I want to become the coach that I couldn't find. When I first moved out to LA, I kept looking for me. All I found was shitty cold reading classes and shitty acting classes. I go, this is not what I want. So I said, where is the coach that I want? So when I decided to coach, I said, I'm going to be the guy that I was looking for.
There you go.
I couldn't find, I'm going to be for everybody else because I couldn't find me. So fuck it. I'm going to become me for them. And that was it. The bell went off and I went, kind of like the father I never had. I'm going to become the coach I couldn't find. And that's why I think I'm great, because I pride myself on giving everybody what I was looking for, you know? Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, I get a lot of joy. You hear me talking about it. I mean, I just love coaching. I coach kids. I coach 9-year-olds. I coach babies. I coach families. I coach you. I coach your kids and Tank's family
and Smokey.
I coach cats. I coach. Look at Red. You know, look at this guy's been like 8,000 different. He used to be a man. Then he's a woman. Now he's a girl. Then he's a he. I don't know what he is, but he's a great actor, and I love him to death. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
Coaching him. We wrote this the fuck he is, quite frankly. He could be half a fish. But the point is, I love the guy. And we wrote this cover letter where an agent's going to go, who is this fucking guy? Is he a man? Is he a woman? Is he an animal? Is he a fish? Who is he? But he got great pictures. You just did something for him. He's going to get a great agent.
Oh, yeah, the video.
He's going to get a great agent because the people are going to go, who the hell is this whack job?
That video was so fun to make for him. I really
I
enjoyed
got to
it.
tell you, you're great at this. Anybody wants any of that stuff done, videos or reading, I mean, you're the jack of all trades. Okay,
I
and chances are
appreciate
you can't
that.
afford me, but you can afford Heidi.
And there will be an email link that you can see where you can reach me if you need to get a hold of me for any of that, and then I can give you contact information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're great. I mean, I always tell people, you should coach, and in so many different areas. Really great.
You can find me on TikTok. You can find me
On your
on
TikTok, I watch TikTok before I go to bed at night. 85 channels. You're on 83 of them. Like, holy mac! What does this woman own TikTok? How do you
I
how do you
should.
how do you hold TikTok hostage and get on 83 out of 86 channels? How do you do it?
I just like to get my face out there so it's known. So get
I'm addicted
ready.
to TikTok now. And I'll tell you what I'm addicted to. I'm embarrassed by this. I love when a restaurant has the camera up at the grill. I love watching a grill man work. The eggs, the bacon. I can sit there for an hour at night watching the grill. And then they switch over to pizzerias. I watch them make pizzas. I'm fascinated watching the grill.
Wow.
I wake up in the morning. I go, oh, that restaurant's open. I got to watch the grill. Oh, the pizzeria's open. I got to watch the pizzas. I'm staring at TikTok 3 hours a night watching people make pizzas in Mongolia and hero sandwiches in Guam.
I like having TikTok where they're teaching you different recipes and stuff like that. I learned so many desserts. I took one to my mom had this picnic, and I ended up taking one of the desserts that I learned off TikTok, and I took it to my mom's picnic. And I'll tell you what, now every time she has a holiday, she wants me to make it.
Nice. Now, well, I'm checking my FedEx. I didn't get anything delivered. Yeah,
It's coming with the pizza rolls.
Heidi sends me an email going, Ked, what's your address? I want to send you a card. Then I wrote back, sponge cake, black and white cookies. I don't need a card.
I actually sent a card because I had a gift.
No, I'm kidding.
To
You
send
send me a card. You don't have to. Seriously, I mean, just knowing you is enough.
Well,
how's the interview going? Good. I forget where I ended. I feel like I'm talking to you on a regular call.
I know we get along so great, but
I just feel embarrassed. I'm not wearing any pants.
that's the best part of working at home, though. When you do,
yeah. That's a great part of auditioning. Self-tape is the only thing in the world where you can actually do the audition half nude. Okay.
Until you forget that they want you to stand up at the end.
But here's the problem. You really get loused up when they say, we want a full body shot. Uh-oh. And you got to cover yourself with duct tape. Oh, here we go. By the way, Smokey's been fast asleep during this thing. Because every time I feed Smokey, she gets exhausted. How about your cats? As soon as I feed her, she just falls out. Do most cats fall asleep after they eat?
That's how Oliver is, too.
What is it about cats? Right after they eat, they just fall right to sleep.
It must be something in their food that just...
Yeah. I give her, like, toppers. I give her, she has a buffet every morning. I mean, it looks like a buffet in Vegas when I feed this cat.
I'll tell you what, that cat eats better than the homeless people in L.A.
I'm on a dating site now, and I started talking to this girl who's a dog groomer. And I said, Smokey scratches. And she recommended this shampoo that you put on her, like foam, and you just rub it in and let it just sit and don't do anything, and then just brush her. So I'm gonna.
I have that for Muggsy.
Oh, so you put the foam on?
Yeah, but we just do it to make them smell good.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's great.
It says it's just for cats. Nice. Can I use it on my head?
It'll make it look nice and shiny and might smell like lavender.
Okay. Well, these are my new glasses, everybody. You like it? I mean, these are my new glasses. That's one of the advantages of having Medicare and being an old man. You get glasses every 2 years.
And anybody, if you have any questions, you always know you can leave it in the comment. Don't forget to hit the like.
What do you mean questions? About Medicare?
No, any questions for you.
Oh, yeah. And coaching. I love coaching. Mention Heidi, and you're going to get a nice discount. I offer payment plans. I offer first-time discounts. So Sometimes I barter if somebody has a service that I can use. You know, it has to be something very specific. But yeah, I mean, I love coaching new people.
And we can reach you at kentkasper.net. You can see where all his testimonials, if you Google him.
Half the testimonials are you.
No, half the testimonials on kentkasper.net is a lot of the people that you coached. All my testimonials are on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this has been amazing. I feel like you and I are just chatting. I forget we're going to have look, what's your audience? How many people? Millions? 100,000? 10,000?
It just depends on how many this is going to reach. So I normally do a half-hour recording, and we are up to 120. So
we've been on 2 hours?
No, almost. We're almost at a 2-hour point. We're at 1 hour, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'll end it up. Oh, wow, it's amazing. Thank you. I can't believe how long we've been doing. Wow.
Yeah, so I thank you so much for your time. And I'll definitely can't wait for, coming out there to LA.
Yeah, we can't wait to come out here, get some nice shots. You're one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. You're a pleasure to coach. You and your kids and your animals, I consider you family, and you're a delight. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. And before we wrap up, anyway, I wanted to let you know that Kent has done so many things like Roswell, Monk, you've been on Saved by the Bell, Dr.
Oh, by the way,
Lookalike.
Thanks for bringing up shows that were in 1907, okay? I mean, Roswell was like 1,000 years ago. Saved by the Bell was 50 years ago. I've done some... I feel like I died and haven't worked in 40 years. Go to my IMDb.
You've also done a short film, been a part of a short film.
Yeah. I feel like you go like this. Well, Kent's gone. He's done Gone with the Wind in 1929. He's done The Jazz Singer in 1908. He did a silent film in 1890. Go to my IMDb. I've done plenty of stuff, commercials, print. You're so funny. By the way, I did enjoy Saved by the Bell. That was fun. But I kept screwing up my lines. I was really nervous. So I was like an idiot. I was a teacher. I couldn't pronounce the word Appomattox. My line was, and something at Appomattox. And I kept getting it wrong. And they were like yelling at me. But Mad Men was great. I worked with John Hamm, 3 small scenes. The show hadn't even gone on the air yet, right? Mm-hmm. He wasn't even known. They thought the show was going to die after 1 episode. It was on AMC. It was so new that I shared a dressing room with him, and he wears tighty whities.
Do you know who else wears tighty whities?
Who?
Davy Jones, Peter Noon, and Bobby Sherman.
Wow. Right. Yeah, you got this amazing background with music. Wow. Really?
Yes, I was on the Teen Idols tour in 1998, early 1999. I was on the Teen Idols tour, and I was actually 8.5 months pregnant with my first child, and I was sitting back in the green room with my little sister, who was 5 years old at the time, and she was sleeping. And I was sitting there. Davey told me to go ahead and eat the fruit. And I'm sitting there. I ate almost the whole tray of fruit. And out comes Bobby Sherman.
Every girl had a crush on Bobby.
He was wearing these pants. I call them the tinfoil pants. They weren't really tinfoil, but they were so shiny. It looked like you could wrap your food up in them. And he comes out and he's like, "Where's all the fruit?"
That's funny. Well, I heard you got a website that you can tell any rock star what kind of underwear they wore. So it's a nice site you have. So what is today's date? December what? 17th?
Yes.
2023. Just to kind of stamp this thing. I'm 67 years old. I'm starting to lose my hair. I'm not nervous. I'm starting to recede.
Just starting.
Yeah, I'm not nervous, but I have a little recession going on. I got a roof on my head, food in my belly, great cat, great friends. Everything else is a plus. And thank you. I love you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
Okay. Bye, sweetheart.